You're such a squish. Look at him. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elise and I'm so glad that you're here. Today I am going to film my 26-hour labor story, which is so crazy. Oh my gosh, every time I go to the doctor he teases me about how it was 26 hours long. Anyways, but I chose to get induced at 39 weeks pregnant. And the reason I did is, well, I went in for my 36-week appointment and my doctor kind of just talked to me about getting induced at 39 weeks, scheduling an appointment for it anyway, and he just basically convinced me because at first throughout my whole pregnancy I was like, I am not getting induced, like no way am I getting induced. I was like, I'm gonna do this all naturally, like, you know, go into labor naturally anyways. Oh yeah, there he is back there. I totally forgot to even introduce him. This is my little baby Calvin. I'm probably not going to show him right now because he's sleeping, but maybe he'll wake up by the end of the video and I can show you him. But anyways, so he kind of convinced me, and you know, towards the end of pregnancy how you're just done, like so done being pregnant. You just want the baby out by like week 30 or 34, right anywhere in there, you're just like ready to have the baby. But so he convinced me and I was like, you know what, okay, I'm getting induced at 39 weeks, you know, however it goes. Basically the reason I didn't want to get induced though is because I was traumatized from my younger sister had a baby just last year, and she had to end up having a C-section, and it just like totally traumatized me. But yeah, so I got induced, scheduled an appointment to get induced. He of course did not come before then, so I went in and they started me on something they call Cervidil, which is like a pill that they put up there to soften your cervix, because I was not dilated at all by 39 weeks. I mean, my uterus was like high up and like not even effaced or whatever. I was basically making no progression. Oh, another reason I kind of decided to get induced is my mom, she had 6 kids, and with all 6 of them she had to get induced because her cervix would never soften and dilate, just never would. She would always make it to like 2 weeks overdue, and then of course the doctor had to induce her at that point. And back in the 90s they didn't induce you for a while, they made you wait it out. They didn't induce you at 39 weeks unless like medical reasons, of course. But yeah, so shoot, where was I? Oh yeah, so 39 weeks, I go in, they put the Cervidil up me, which softens your cervix and hopefully dilates you, and you get this every 4 hours, and I think they give you up to 3 doses. I could be totally wrong on that, but basically they started me on that when I went in on a Tuesday night. They started me on that, and she came in and checked me 4 hours later. I still wasn't dilated, so she went ahead and started me on my next dose. And then again, because I didn't dilate again by the next time she had checked me. But now by this time though, throughout that whole night with all, I think it was 3 or 4 doses of it, I did not dilate. However, I contracted that whole time. They were not bad contractions, they were kind of like not fun period cramps. I never really experienced super bad period cramps. They were always like pretty tolerable for me. Sometimes I'd have to take ibuprofen, but not really even. So it was kind of a not fun night. They offered me Ambien, but I was like, no, that's okay, I don't really need it. And then so Wednesday morning the doctor comes and checks me, and he said, okay, I think we're gonna do the balloon. And by the way, my doctor was awesome. He was amazing. I loved my doctor, and all my nurses, they all were freaking awesome. Anytime that they went to do something to me, they like told me what they were gonna do and why, and asked me if it was okay and everything. So it was super awesome. I had a really good experience. So my doctor came in, talked to me about the balloon, which is something they put up your cervix, and it's literally a balloon, and it like opens it and dilates you to hopefully a 3 or a 4. So he comes and tries that 3 times with me. Now this was the most painful thing I had experienced. It was worse than when they check you to see if you're dilated. It was horrible. And then my husband, he was there through it all, and he said there was like so much blood. I didn't notice the blood, but basically every time the doctor tried to put the balloon up there, I crawled up the bed. I ended up like clear, like almost to the wall, because I was like crawling away from the doctor. I was in so much pain. I hated that. It was awful. So he tried it 3 times, 3 failed attempts, and so he said, okay, I'll come back in 2 hours and try again. And in that meantime, oh, and by the way, sorry, totally forgot to mention, after my 3rd or 4th dose of Cervidil, I was dilated a 1.5, and then they wanted to do the balloon. Sorry, totally forgot to mention that. So, because they can't start the balloon unless you are dilated at least a 1, and that hopefully gets you to a 3 or 4. But anyways, so it was 3 failed attempts from the balloon, and so he was like, okay, I'll come back and try in about 2 hours. Well, in that meantime, he told me I could get the epidural, and I was like, yes. I was gonna like try and wait to see how long I could go without the epidural, because I just wanted to experience labor, you know. I think it's pretty amazing what our bodies can do, and so I knew I was gonna get the epidural during labor at some point, but I wanted to see how long I could make it. Little did I know how painful that was going to be to get the balloon. So I decided to get the epidural in this meantime. Yeah, at a 1.5. I was dying. I feel like such a baby because I got the freaking epidural at a 1.5. But honestly, after contracting all night back to back, my contractions were literally back to back all night. Like, this was the monitor on the screen. They did not stop. Thankfully, they were just like period cramps. But yeah, so I got the epidural, and then he came back to try the balloon, and I didn't feel crap. I was like, I'm feeling great. This is awesome. Go ahead. You could do that to me 20 times. I wouldn't even know, which was nice. So the epidural, I got that at around 10 in the morning, I think. Yeah, I think it was right around there at 10 in the morning. And then at 11, they started me on Pitocin. Yes, they started me on Pitocin. Well, slowly, after getting the epidural and starting me on Pitocin, I kind of lost track of time. And I had like my mom, my sisters, my friend like in and out of the room at this point. So I really just lost track of time. And so hopefully this part is clear. But what happened after that? So I got the epidural, started me on the balloon. And then basically we were just waiting for me to get dilated to a 3 or a 4. And that could take, I think it was quite a few hours. No, it was like 3 or 4 hours. And so what happened in that meantime? Oh, I don't know. It's like 4 hours later, I think it was. I wish I knew exact time after this. Like I said, once I got the epidural and stuff, I kind of lost track of time. So yeah, it dilated me to about a 4. They turned up my Pitocin. And then what started happening once they turned up my Pitocin was his heart rate would start dipping. Just like real dips. And so they'd come in and turn down my Pitocin or off. And then they'd start me back up on it like an hour or 2 later, because they come in and check on you every hour. And then they would come in, turn the Pitocin up, and then his heart rate would start dipping. They'd come in and turn it down or off, depending on how they felt at the time. And this went on clear through the whole evening, the whole night, the whole middle of the night, clear until the next morning. His heart rate just kept dipping. I was getting super discouraged because I was getting scared of a C-section. I was just getting super worried. I mean, his heart rate was dipping. Of course, I was kind of panicking on the inside, but anyways, so next morning they turned up my Pitocin, and finally his heart rate stopped dipping. And next thing I know, I was just dilating. It was like boom 5, boom 6, 7, 8, 9, and then by, what was it? Around like 11:40, this part, or at least times I remember, around like 11:40 or 12 o'clock, I was finally at 10, and the doctor said, okay, nurse, start doing like practice pushes. Well, I started pushing my brains out because I was like, I am not about to have a C-section. So I started pushing so hard, and my nurse was like so proud of me at this point because she said she's like, I have never seen someone push this hard before. She's like, you are awesome, especially for a first-time mom. She's like, there's women that come in here and they push for like 3 hours. I only pushed for like 45 minutes, and by then the baby was crowning, and she was like, oh, let me go get the doctor, because yeah, the doctor still wasn't in the room because she thought we were going to be pushing for quite some time. But no, I was determined. I said, no way am I having a C-section, and no way am I going to sit here and push for 3 hours. I gave it my all, even though I couldn't feel a thing. I couldn't feel anything down there. My husband actually pressed the epidural thing, like kept pressing it because you can't overdose on it. He just kept pressing it for me to make sure I didn't feel anything when it was time to push, and I didn't. I felt like a little teeny bit of pressure, but really I didn't feel anything, and I'm perfectly okay with that. But yeah, so like 45 minutes to an hour later, here comes baby, and it was the most amazing, wonderful, beautiful thing ever. I'll show you guys him now. He's huge, by the way, like huge. So he's 6 weeks old. He was born 7 pounds 10 ounces, lost the 10 pounds at the hospital, 10 ounces at the hospital, which is very normal for babies to lose weight that first couple days that you're at the hospital. And then by the time his 2-week appointment came, he was 8.8 pounds. And now I swear he's like 12 pounds because I've weighed him at home, which isn't like super accurate because I did where like I stand on it and weigh myself and then stand on it with him, and it said he was 12 pounds already. That was at 5 weeks. Like he's huge. Oh, but yeah, so far right now he just sleeps, eats, and poops. He's starting to be a little bit more awake. Hi. He's starting to be a little bit more awake and aware. But yeah, I still get to enjoy just the sleeping. But yeah, basically this has been my life, and yeah, thank you for watching my video. I plan on doing vlogs and lots of just mommy videos here on my channel, so if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.